Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the American Fitbaw Cast. I am Gavin Miller and I am joined with two absolute stallions.
Where are they?
Not Broncos because they didn't do too well.
Although they are featured on Steve's t-shirt.
Oh wow, I didn't even realise that. Maybe that's what it was, maybe it was subliminal. So yeah, Steve rocking one of his 32 t-shirts that he's got.
It was like, so my latest batch that I've got, I had Broncos, Jets, Colts, Cards, and I'm like, they've all lost. Well, actually Cards drew, but I was like, I don't know, I can't pick a winner. Jets, I was like, whatever, they're all losing teams.
Never Jets.
So,
great weekend, football was back.
I was so happy. 6 o'clock on Sunday.
It's like bliss. And then I look on Facebook and Steve's wife is saying, this is the time of the year I start to hate Sundays.
Because she has to do bedtime. What a shame.
Yeah.
Sundays are the way they should be.
So am I right in saying that we all started off by watching the Browns at the Titans and then gave up and went to Red Zone?
Yes.
I finished it.
Did you watch the full game?
I ain't no queer.
Well, the Browns are.
Yeah, jeez. That's why I put in the chat about somewhere in the third quarter. So I don't blame anyone if you've already moved on to Red Zone now, because that game, it started off brilliant.
Yes, I was just going to say the first Browns drive, I was like, oh my
74
god,
74 yards, marching down. They're all bouncing. Everyone's getting completions all over the place. They just looked like what you wanted or what you thought they were going to be coming into the season. And then the wheels just flew off. They just started. What was it? Greg Robinson decided to kick Kenny Vaccaro.
What was that about?
He got ejected.
What was that about? It was
their backup left tackle.
He got injured.
Busted his knee. They were then. Thankfully, they still had somebody else in the roster they could bring in. They were down to the last 5 O-linemen for the whole of the second half.
So I guess just on that Greg Robinson thing there, if I am Freddie Kitchens, I am losing my shit on that because there was no need for him to kick out. There wasn't.
Stupid. They were so badly disciplined. I was trying to find the stat before getting on. It was something like
10,000 penalties.
17 penalties for 187 yards.
Yeah,
or
something like that.
It was just ludicrous.
And it was really bad penalties. It wasn't like ones where you were like
four personal whatevers in the first half. And I was just like, you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, people are a bit ropey going into week 1. You can get a little bit of rust.
Yep.
Because now the tradition is less of the starters are playing in the pre-season. Yep. Really, this is kind of the beginning of it for a lot of them. So you get a little bit of rust and you might be a little bit ropey on week 1. But that was a whole new level of disgusting.
I guess that's us really focusing on the Browns, but the Titans probably deserve some credit, right?
They do.
They're not fun to watch, but
what they do well. But okay, so let's go with Derek Henry, as Andrew pointed out. He showed up not in December.
Yeah. I appreciate that from a fantasy point of view.
Have you got him in your team?
Yeah, he helped me beat Gav.
Okay. I'm just like an NFL team. I'm a slow starter.
So I've had him drafted for the last couple of years, and I've been like, this is the year he's going to break through because size-wise, he's massive for a back. He should be causing havoc, and he's never quite fulfilled his potential unless it's December.
Yeah.
And he's just absolutely blowing up stats
like
all over
choo-choo the trains here.
Yeah, 200 yards a week, 4 touchdowns. It doesn't matter. He'll do it in December, but he just doesn't do it for the first 12 weeks of the season. Yeah. Maybe this year he's going to change things. So
let's hope so.
So the Browns obviously went down in this game and lost at home pretty badly.
Oh, very badly.
Do you think that, and this is obviously huge speculation, but do you think that Greg Williams was the reason that they were successful last year? Because I do.
It's hard to say. In fact, it's impossible to say.
It is impossible to say, but I'm just all in on Greg Williams.
The organisation believed that the second half of the season last year was due to Freddie Kitchens. Okay, that's why they gave him the job.
Yep.
So you kind of got to let them go with it.
Yep.
I think what will become apparent in the next couple of weeks is if the defence don't get their stuff in order very quickly, that is a massive gap, and they've definitely lost having Williams in.
There's something that I think about Williams' character that is valuable, his no shit attitude, which I'm not sure you're going to get from Steve Wilkes.
It's a bit of discipline.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Wilkes is a massive disciplinarian, But I know just from the little I know,
Certainly
should I
doesn't
say,
come across that
I would
way.
not be winding up Greg Williams. No way.
Yep.
I feel in a meeting room, he'd pick up a chair and chuck it at my head. He wouldn't care.
Yep.
Don't know much about Wilkes. Don't know how passive he is.
Yeah,
but
he
I mean,
comes
I
across
definitely
that way.
wouldn't annoy. You know what I mean? It's you know
Yeah.
whether the players have a bit of that as well. I don't know.
So I guess
Put them into shape.
it was a bit of a strange one, and the Browns done what the Browns do. They get everyone
Threw it away in
excited.
the fourth quarter.
Get
Three
every-
interceptions, basically on 3 drives.
Mayfield was pretty
Or 4
bad this
drives.
game. Even
things went wrong.
they didn't get Nick Chubb going at all. Even when it was close, they didn't let him.
I think Mayfield, for a guy that isn't shy, he likes his voice to be heard. You've got to back that up when you get onto the football field, and he just did not do that.
Yep.
Yeah. I think they were okay. In the first 3 quarters, they were kind of okay. I mean, it was the game was a little bit. They were behind coming in the fourth quarter, but it was just the meltdown in quarter 4 that just didn't help one bit. It was a pick 6 to Butler, Super Bowl hero of many years past. Still making a name for himself. Logan Ryan got an interception.
Delaney Walker got a couple of touchdowns as well from the past.
And Kevin Byard, which makes he's absolute ball hog. So you thought things were going to be okay, but it's just the same old Browns, isn't it? So I can go back to rooting for them this year and feel happy about it.
So that's one of the games we said we would speak about. What was the game that you were looking to talk about, Andrew?
I was going to talk about the Texans at the Saints, which was a tremendous game. There's so much to talk about in this game. There's the end of it, start of the end. Because the finish of this game was spectacular. You had the Saints in possession, could only get a field goal, and went ahead. The Texans then went back and scored a touchdown. They then missed the extra point, but a flag was then called on that for running into the kicker. So they got to take their extra point again, which put them a point ahead. They were 28-27 up, and then the Saints then went up the field and won it with a 56-yard field goal.
Well, Lutz has got a huge leg.
Yeah, and it would have been good from 65, halfway up the net. So the end of the game was fantastic. It would have been a massive statement for the Texans to go into the Superdome and win. And they did look good, but there are concerns there. I mean, they conceded 6 sacks. Deshaun Watson, and he was hit another 5 times on top of that as well. So they brought Tunsil in, but the O-line still looks a bit ropey.
I think Tunsil coming in late, it'll take him a while to adjust to the scheme.
There may be a slight adjustment
because he's not had a training camp with them.
He was it was a Saturday after. It was Saturday the roster cut day, wasn't it?
Yeah, so he's been there a week. So it is fair that it'll take him a little bit of time to get up to speed.
And they're already a shaky line.
Yes, their O-line isn't great. I mean, they've re-upped their centre for another 3 years. I don't even know
Nick Mark, was it? I think it is Nick Mark.
But yeah, that's where they've struggled. He took 62 sacks last season, Watson, which was getting close to the NFL record. He was already at 6 in week 1. That's not a great sign.
So he's on for about 80 this year.
So I thought, just whilst we're speaking about the Texans, I actually thought it looked like Carlos Hyde had a fairly decent game for another player that came in late. I think he had 85 yards from scrimmage.
He was 10 carries for 83 yards.
83, so I think there was some concerns. Again, he came in late to that roster after being cut by the Chiefs. I think there was some talk that Duke Johnson was going to be the number 1 there, but Hyde looks like he's going to be the running back, and Duke Johnson will be the change of pace third down back by the looks of it.
So 9 carries for Johnson, so a fairly even split actually in terms of the workload.
I think Hyde had more. It was like 8 yards per carry or something.
8.3 per carry compared to 6.3 for Johnson. I mean, 6.3 is not too shabby in itself.
Yeah, still good.
Oh, aye, you take that easy.
So
but on defensive side, one throw out. JJ Watt, nothing. No tackles, no assists, no fumbles, no sacks. First time he's ever done it in his 115 game career.
Wow.
How much
Saints have a good O-line
though, missing? But Jadeveon Clowney, isn't it? It goes back to what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
The fact that you're missing that other playmaker on defence, they can just focus all their efforts on stopping JJ Watt.
It does feel like the Texans' defence isn't as formidable as it maybe was, let's say, 3 years ago. I think some of the players that they've lost are just not
You gone back to the glory days of Brian Cushing?
I was thinking Cushing, Whitney Merciless.
3 seasons ago now?
Yeah, it would have been 3 or 4.
It's a while, yeah.
So yeah, losing these people has obviously impacted them. But yeah, let's just quickly round up on the Saints. It looked like Alvin Kamara was all go.
He was, so he had 13 carries for 97 yards and then 7 receptions for 72.
Guy's a joke.
Didn't get into the end zone, but that's a mighty performance.
Oh God.
123 yards for Michael Thomas as well.
Guy's a joke.
101 for Ted Ginn.
Guy's okay. And Taysom Hill got a touchdown as well, I think.
Yeah, so he rushed twice for 8 yards and he had 1 reception for 9 yards and a touchdown.
I like Taysom Hill.
So that actually puts to bed, there was a whole bit of speculation in the off-season about would Peyton be more keen to put more plays in for Taysom Hill just to kind of protect Breeze a little bit. There was the rumblings of the end of last season, is his arm strength going, whatever. I think he's pretty much put that to bed. Was he 32 for 43, 370 yards, 2 touchdowns? That's you'll take that any
Absolutely.
Day of the week.
Yeah, so no
Hill
passing
had a
plays for
couple.
Hill at all. He was there as a receiver and running back. He's I mean, if they can bring that term of offensive weapon back, he is.
That's what you get.
Denard Robinson.
He is that, though, isn't he?
He's totally.
He seems to be a threat with every form of the offense.
That's crazy.
So just to move on to someone else that we said last week could be under threat, and that's Brian Flores. We said that if things didn't go too well for him over the course of the season and they didn't look competitive, he could be in for a one and done. So 59-10 is as close to as one and done as you're going to get.
One game and done.
Yeah.
Is he still in a job right now?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So let's quickly. There's some rumblings just now that after that performance, that some Dolphins players want out. They do not want to be part of that organisation.
You don't blame them at all, do you?
Of course not. When your own players are like, my God, this is a 0-16 season. I will ball out as much as I can, but there's not enough people around me to help out.
So I'm thinking if you're in a contract year, you're knowing that you don't want to be there anymore. How can you possibly, you're thinking your next contract is going to be crap because the team I'm on is crap.
Yeah, I mean the Miami Dolphins, based on that showing, look worse than the 0-16 Browns.
Oh yeah,
it's hard to disagree with that.
Yeah, it was. I really struggle for words with that.
It is only one game. It might get better. It won't get better this week. No. They've got the Patriots.
So from home against the Ravens and getting quite possibly close to a record defeat for the Dolphins, they then face Brady and co coming in week 2. That is just right the season off right now.
So Ryan Fitzpatrick had 29 attempts and only had 14 completions.
Ooh, not even 50%.
Ow!
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Josh Rosen.
He got 3 attempts and 1 completion.
Yeah.
And also 1 pick. 190 yards of offense, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions.
I feel sorry for Rosen. He really is. He's gone from an unfortunate bad situation to what he thought was going to be better, but now looks probably worse than what he had in year 1. He's not going to get a fair shake at all. Not even this season. So where does he go from there? Disaster.
Yeah. I think a year and a game into his NFL career, he looks like a career backup at best.
Yeah. He's been unfortunate, and he's at a team that are going to draft a quarterback next year.
Yeah.
So not good.
But he'll be there because he's a really cheap option for them to get as a backup.
Yep. So looking really bad in Miami from a Ravens point of view. Lamar Jackson, first start of the season, you probably couldn't ask.
Perfect passer rating.
You probably.
I think he ended up with.
I'll just bring it up.
So
5
touchdowns.
17 completions out of 20 attempts, 324 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's, even as bad a team as you're playing, that's still really good.
It is, yeah.
He only took 1 sack. So at least Miami had 1 good play.
Yeah. So I guess my thinking here was, so he threw the ball.
He threw for 5 touchdowns, which we've not seen from Lamar Jackson. Did he throw for 6 last season?
If you want to give him confidence going into the rest of the season, you've done everything you possibly can there.
I mean, the ideal matchup as well, which really helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Hollywood Brown looks like
legit
breaking,
yeah.
total change. Going to help him out loads.
Yeah.
Do you see what Lamar Jackson came out in the post? When someone talked about throwing the touchdowns, and he went, "Yeah, it's not bad for a running back, eh?"
Yeah.
He sort of threw it back in their face.
Yeah, I like that.
I was like, "Yeah, good effort."
You know what? He's an exciting player. If he can, stay upright, not get loads of sacks, he could be a Deshaun Watson type.
Yeah.
If his arm strength can, improve, and his accuracy can improve, because I think last year one of the issues was they didn't have a deep threat to stretch the field, and Hollywood Brown is that deep threat that they were maybe missing. Mark Ingram is an upgrade at running back. He got over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of things suit the Ravens, and they've got the Cardinals.
Cardinals in week 2, so that is interesting because the Cardinals do have a reasonable edge threat. And so interesting to see if he stays upright in this game as well, or if Jones and Suggs are able to get Suggs back in Baltimore.
Oh,
spicy.
Oh yeah, actually, I didn't even click on that. He had a really good week 1, 2 sacks and a forced fumble, I think.
Did he have a forced fumble as well?
Chandler Jones
had
a forced fumble as well,
which was a great play.
Yeah. And Cards' offense is no joke. Looks like. Well,
I'm not as sold on it, but we can get to that in a minute. Just what I wanted to say, just finally on the Ravens as well. They didn't, and again I know it's only one game and against a horrific team against the Dolphins, but you can only beat and play against what you're up against. The defense looked pretty good as well. Got a huge number of sacks, couple of interceptions. Earl Thomas got one, which was good to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? Round up a quick 3 games there, but I am so happy football is back.
Yeah.
Oh, aye.
Sundays are good, and
there was almost too much. I had to sit there and kind of digest it all on Monday and like, oh my god, there's so much stuff going on.
So
after having the longest off season in history.
So that's us covered 3 games that we liked. Let's move to 3 players that we want to speak about. Andrew, would you like to go first, seeing as I doubted the Cardinals' offense?
Yeah, so I wanted to speak about, and I don't think you cannot speak about Kyler Murray. He's been the story of the off season, with him going number 1 overall in the draft, and he looked ropey to start with, as to be said. He threw an interception early on in the game, which was a really poor interception. It was one of those that just threw it out of bounds. He tried a stupid pass up the sideline and deservedly got picked. Really, really poor. It seemed to take 3/4 of the game to get going. I actually went to bed and I think the Cardinals were down by 14 or thereabouts when I went to sleep. And I thought, well, it's 0-1 start to the season. I'll get up, I'll look and see that we've been thumped. I was pleasantly surprised when I got up and saw it finish 27 each. Looking back on the highlights, the offense looked really good in that 4th quarter.
Yep, so there was something. So I watched this until actually a part of overtime, and there was something It's just what I do. So there was 2 things that happened in this game that really changed the game. 4th quarter, they got David Johnson way more involved than they had all game. I mean, who knew that giving your best player the ball on a regular basis would work? Who knew? Because I felt in the first, sort of 3 quarters, I felt like they were trying to be a little bit too fancy at times and trying to give too much.
Kingsbury come out and say something about that. He said actually the first 3 quarters was down to him. Poor play calling. Which, if that's legit and he recognised that and fixed it for quarter 4, that's a really good sign.
Yeah, that's a positive.
He can make an in-game change and go, actually, I'll beat them this way.
I guess my thinking, just to caveat that, was again, why did it take so long to get your best player into the game? They done it eventually, so I don't want to be too negative, but there was a play that the Lions made, and I'm not sure if it was on the highlights, but I think it was 3 minutes to go, Lions are in possession, and if they get, it's like a 3rd and 6, if they get the first down, then they're likely to run the clock down to the 2-minute mark, and it would have been over the halfway line. The Lions get the first down, but the offensive coordinator called a timeout just before the play that Matt Patricia didn't call for. It was the OC that called for it. and the 3rd and 6 then got replayed, and they didn't get the first down and had to punt it, and that started the Cardinals' drive back, which also gave the Cardinals an extra timeout because they had the 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
Matt Patricia's face.
Fuming, I imagine.
Oh my good God, that OC will never do that again.
That's him. He's one mistake away from getting the punt mid-season.
Well, yeah, it was something, and that's the fine margins in the NFL, right? So that's one play that's potentially cost him that game.
Yeah.
But Kyler Murray, he did grow into the game, and he's got a lot of talent, but at times for me, it's a rookie, right? So I think that decision making might be the thing that he'll need to focus on more than anything else.
Yeah, and that is something that you expect when it's someone playing their first game. The basics, the fundamentals of his game are there. He seems to have a great arm, particularly when on the move.
Yep.
His ability to throw.
Like Russell Wilson.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see. I think exciting things there. And you use Larry Fitz a lot as well, and
which you liked, yeah.
Well, the fact is, you use him a lot. 8 receptions, 113 yards and a touchdown.
Give your best players the ball, and things will happen.
It's not rocket
simple
science,
as that,
folks.
Yeah. So, Steve, who was the player that you want to speak about?
So actually, I'm gonna give a wee bit of a shout out to Dak Prescott. So there's been a lot of rumblings in the off season about what they were going to do, because we spoke about this a lot, because Dallas have got a lot of people needing new contracts at the wrong time.
Yep.
So where was the money going to go? And Dak comes out on social media and says, "I want to be the first $40 million a year quarterback." Which of course everyone was like, "That's disgusting. What are you on about? Get back in your box." So however, he does the sensible thing. He does not skip training camp. He does not hold the team ransom.
Yep.
He gets on with the job, does what he needs to do, and he goes and throws out. Where's my numbers? 25 for 32, 405 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks, no fumbles, perfect passer rating in week 1. That's a case of, there you go, Jerry, give me my money.
Yep.
So I did a bit more digging, because I thought he gets a lot of hate, and generally the perception for the last few years has been that he gets a lot of hate.
He had a really strong rookie year, and then hasn't looked the same.
Even so,
since then,
which is weird considering the Cowboys done better last year, because they got to the playoffs.
So his career record though as a starting quarterback: 33 wins and 16 losses. It's more than 2-1 in a positive ratio, which is good for what, an 11-5 season on average.
Yeah.
Every year that he's been in the league, how many teams would take that? A lot. Fairly consistent passing percentage. 67, 62, 67's been the last 3 years, so that's 66%. You'll take that easy.
Yeah, I think.
So actually, he's going to get his contract with the Cowboys at some point.
You know how he
probably will reset the market.
He probably will.
But at least he's backing it up.
They would be daft to let him go.
I think so.
I watched quite a bit of this game, and what Dak Prescott actually reminded me of is Alex Smith. Well, before his injury, obviously. Alex Smith, the Chiefs, managed the game to an absolute T. Don't make stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
Do the simple things right, and keep the
well.
And that's what when you've got someone like Zeke as well, and he didn't have his best game, but someone that can chew the clock like Zeke and put your quarterback in favourable situations.
Yep.
So it's his strengths as well. So
and they do also benefit from having a really solid defense.
Yep,
which
absolutely.
is going to help you out. But there's no fault on Dak himself. He's absolutely come out and done brilliant. So I thought I'd give him a shout out. I thought it was worth it.
They also benefit from having to play Eli Manning twice a year. So
the Giants were that bad though.
They were. You know what? That's just me being harsh. Eli was actually okay, to be fair. But I just had to get that dig in. So it'll be interesting to see what the Cowboys do, because they are going to be close to
play your Washington Redskins this weekend.
Yep, which I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah. Is this a Jay Gruden sacking game?
Hopefully. I don't even want to speak about the Redskins actually.
It's fine.
So the player I said I wanted to give a little bit of love to was Marlon Mack, because loads of people were really high on him when Luck was the quarterback, and then his stock plummeted when it was announced that Luck was gone, and there was loads of worry about the Colts are going to have to throw the ball loads because they're going to be behind. Well, actually, they stuck with Marlon Mack, and they gave
They
him
weren't far off beating the Chargers, which is no mean feat, because as much as we give Kev a wee dig every now and again, actually the Chargers are definitely going to be in the mix this year.
Adam Vinatieri cost the Colts that one.
They could have. They could have.
He did, yeah.
So yeah, Marlon Mack had the second most amount of touches of any running back on week one. 25 touches, 174 carries, 1 touchdown, averaging 7 yards per touch.
Nice.
Wasn't overly effective in the receiving game, but the Colts stuck with the sort of DNA they had of last year, was try and put yourself in favourite position, make it easy for your quarterback, simple completion, move the chains, all that good stuff. And I think that they shouldn't move away from that.
So Ballard came out and said just after Luck went, I'm not going to panic too much because I've created a good team.
Yep.
And I wonder if the Colts will be one of these teams where the sum of the
parts are greater than the whole.
Bingo. Yeah, that Binger?
Binger.
That's a really bad version of bingo. I don't even know where I was going with that. Yeah, so the fact they've come out and pretty much proved it in week one, I don't fear for them anywhere near what I thought. When Luck announced his retirement, I thought, God almighty, here they go.
And actually, Jacoby Brissett could grow into it the more he plays, etc. as well. So from the Colts' perspective, that's quite good. But yeah, I think Marlon Mack is someone that they need to, like the Cardinals, don't overcomplicate it. Give your good players the football, and you'll get good results. So a little bit of love for Marlon Mack. Long may it continue because he's in my fantasy team.
And I have him in another league as well. So yeah, I agree.
We're all a little bit of Mack love.
I was really conflicted during watching the fantasy develop over the weekend, because you playing against me in one league had David Johnson and Marlon Mack as your running backs, and in the other league I'm in, I have David Johnson and Marlon Mack.
We both done really good. You did do good. So that sort of rounds up the 3 players that we liked. And I guess moving on to 3 things that we dislike about the Patriots. There is going to
be a regular feature.
There is actually.
Can you get 3 things every week?
I was just going to say.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can.
Dear. I was going to say 3 of many. So you know what? AB's happened.
Well, yeah, and the more you hear about it, the more you wonder, was this the plan all along? I don't know. It's just weird, because obviously
Patriots tried to get him.
They offered a first rounder, and the Steelers are like...
Are we going to have this conversation assuming that the news that broke last night hasn't broken?
That he's been a naughty boy?
Yeah.
He's joined the Patriots folklore and gone, right, I'm a Patriot now, I have to get myself a criminal conviction.
Or maybe he's just spent too much time under Ben Roethlisberger's tutelage.
Let's keep it PC. Let's keep it PC.
Yeah. Anyway,
so
he's been a naughty boy.
So yeah,
but the whole engineering a trade to anywhere and then trying to figure out how much of a pain in the neck can I be that this organisation are like, no, I'm just getting rid of you, just for him to waltz up and say, hey Bill, I'm all good. Yeah.
So he apparently employed a social media consultant just to find out how he could most effectively put things out on social media to get the Raiders to cut him.
Apparently so. It's a bit.
He's not just a silly boy.
Within an hour. He signed within an hour.
There's definitely.
It's that quick to swoop in and go.
Yeah, I do feel that there's a bit of dark arts going on here.
Yeah.
Why is there not been? Because Drew Rosenhaus should have come out instantly and gone, yeah, okay, the Patriots got him, but I've had offers from and list 8 other teams. Even chucking out stupid it doesn't matter if they're right or not, but to go and say, oh, there was other teams that offered him more and it was from this pile.
Yeah.
To try and speculate. There's nothing. Absolutely, he's come out with nothing.
Yep.
It's just like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's disgusting.
Shady.
It's disgusting.
It makes potentially the best team in the league even better. Awfully better though.
Hopefully his feet fall off. Hopefully he accidentally cryogenically freezes his feet off.
He comes in. His first game is against the woeful Dolphins. This is going to be a crucifixion this weekend.
But he could end up on the commissioner's exempt list very quickly.
Well, depending on what happens.
We can only pray. So someone who could easily replace him if that does happen, with a little eye emoji last night just to make everyone upset again.
Of course. Why wrong?
Why do this? Why retire?
He's coming back. He so is.
So did you see the clip that Barstool Sports put up? Someone asked him, and he is on camera saying, week 14.
So he's going to rock up right at the end of the season?
Yeah, week 14.
That's late. What a beep. Didn't really know what I could say.
So is that because he needs that amount of time to get the cannabis oil out of his system so he doesn't get suspended for 4 games when he comes back?
Oh, there's an idea. Oh god, no, this is getting into rampant speculation because
dark arts at the Patriots again.
It could very well be because he can't do anything official until he knows he's clean. F for slander law, whatever it is. So we're not saying he actually has taken anything, but if
he is literally. He not signed an endorsement agreement with a cannabis oil
There's
company.
Probably a good chance he's tried it.
Well, I think he's been quoted as saying that it's helped him a lot through this since he's retired. So he's using cannabis oil.
Yeah, which I'm assuming is legal in the state he's in. But
it's legal.
Let's get all that thrown out.
It's legal in a lot of places.
It's legal here.
Oil. Oh yeah. Sorry, if prescribed.
So the other thing I was thinking is there maybe something from it because the Pats basically spent the Pats spent the last of their money on Antonio Brown, their salary cap money. So I wonder if there's maybe something here that they'll be able to get around money wise, but bringing Gronk in so late into the season as well to make it work for everyone.
So they're ruthless. They'll just cut someone. They won't care.
Yeah,
they've got that many.
Yeah, but I guess it's what the guarantees are for those people are, right? And then based on how much you're going to pay Gronk, so.
There's always a way.
That only becomes an issue next season. You can restructure a contract to free up a little bit, but I think it only becomes a problem after March or something. You don't need to worry about it too much.
So yeah, I despise the Patriots, and
they put an absolute walloping on the Steelers. I mean, what was it, 33-3?
Yeah,
it was so one-sided. I thought Steelers were going to actually be all right this season. They had all the drama removed. They were going to regroup. Pre-season, Devin Bush was causing havoc.
I didn't. I told you that they were a dumpster fire. Told you that all of the season. Looks like I'm right.
You know what? I think the Steelers, when you take into consideration who they were playing, I'll worry about them in week 4 if they're rubbish, but not right now. I'll wait.
This was kind of my thinking on the bold speculation that if the Steelers spiraled out of control, would Tomlin be canned mid-season? Anyway.
Yeah. And then just finally on things that we dislike about the Patriots, that could be a podcast in its own. Bill Belichick has now traded with every single team after sending Demarius Thomas to the Jets for a 6th round pick.
Was he 2021 6th round pick?
Yeah, sorry, 2021.
Was he banned from training with the Jets after filming them or anything? Is this why he's waiting so long?
I'd imagine it's maybe there is a bit of bad blood there.
Well, it's a divisional rival. I mean, you're not going to do very much business with your divisional rivals, are you?
It's another one of these sneaky, we'll just steal this player and raid his brain for a few days, ready for the, inevitable matchup in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it probably is that actually.
Bit of that from the Jets side.
Yeah.
It doesn't make no difference.
He's an okay option, isn't he?
So they've got Robbie Anderson, who's got a hamstring injury just now. He was an IR.
They still got Quincy Enunwa.
And
probably one other one. So they don't have any absolute standout receivers.
Robbie Anderson looked injured.
Yeah, he did look
during
injured.
their game this week.
Last season he looked really quick and he didn't have that burst of speed, and that comes with hamstring injury. Yeah. So anyway, that's what it is. So I guess from a Jets point of view, they get another fairly reliable option. Makes sense. So yeah, well done, Mr. Belichick, for trading with everyone, you horrible bastard.
And just another coach that's completed the set is Pete Carroll this weekend. Ticked off the last team, so he's beaten every team apart from the Seahawks.
That's good.
Apart from in that Super Bowl where he beat the
seen
Seahawks.
that tweet. Just we've already covered that, but the Bengals look better than I expected. Like a lot better than I expected.
Yeah.
But that's a story for a different day.
I had them as pick 2 in the draft next year, but
he looked good. John Ross looked like a player. He looked like the guy that they thought they were drafting
half a decade ago.
Yeah. So
it was only 21-20, wasn't it?
Something
like
that.
Point.
Yeah, it was. It was that, and be interesting to see. And Zach Taylor looks so young. It's funny. So just to wrap things up, we said we would talk about 3 predictions on 3 different games between the 3 of us. So this week's games are going to be the Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans, the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers, New Orleans Saints at the Los Angeles Rams, nearly said St. Louis.
So what we're going to do is we're going to keep track of the score of this through the season, and we'll see which of the 3 of us can predict best.
So, Steve, Colts at Titans.
Titans home victory.
What's your thinking?
So the beatdown they put on the Browns just gives them a lot of confidence going into week 2. Colts, albeit they lost, they didn't lose by much. There is the whole, the sum of the parts team type thing. But I think having to go into Nashville and beat the Titans is probably just going to be a little bit too much for them.
Okay.
But we deliberately are picking games that are really like flipping a coin. Yeah. I mean, we're not doing Patriots at Dolphins, put it that way. That's going to be too obvious.
Yeah, so I am going to go Titans as well. Clean sweep for the Titans.
Is it?
Well, going by what you're saying.
You're not even reading his notes. The listeners don't know what he's written.
So, sorry, I didn't realise that. So my thinking is, I think it's going to be a really tight game, and it'll be by Titans by 3 or less.
In the biggest shock of the year, I'm also going to go with the Titans. It's a clean sweep. I can only really echo what you guys have said there. Titans look good. Colts look decent in week 1, but going into, as you say, Nashville and getting a result on the road, I just don't see that happening. I think the Titans will win out on that one.
Titans are also going to be due a boost in a couple of weeks when Taylor Lewan comes back. So I can't wait for that. So moving on to the next game, the Minnesota Vikings at the Green Bay Packers. Let's go with Steve
again.
I think the Vikings are going to go into Green Bay and beat them out, which is a rare feat. It doesn't often happen, but they defensively ruled the Falcons to ungodly levels in week 1. It was ridiculous. But also they really reined Kirk Cousins in. He only threw something crazy like 8 passes or something. It was tiny. They ran the ball. Dalvin Cook's causing havoc. The O-line's blowing up holes from left, right and centre. They run the clock down. They don't need to chuck many passes. And when they do, Cousins is going to be alright because you don't get them anything stupid to do. And then defensively they're just going to cause some major havoc.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm going to go Green Bay. On the major upgrade in their defence, they looked so good against the Bears. Aaron Rodgers looked a little bit rusty. I think back at Lambeau he'll take that step up again, and I think they'll be too much for the Vikings because I don't think Kirk Cousins is particularly good on the road.
2 of their free agent signings, Zadarius Smith and Adrian Amos, absolutely.
And Preston Smith.
Right enough, so he did. Yeah.
All 3 of them
contributed majorly in week 1.
Yep. All 3 of them blew up, and I think Matt LaFleur is benefiting from keeping Mike Patine about from last year. So yeah, Andrew, where are you going?
I am going with the Green Bay Packers. Much the same. It was the defence that stood out to me as well. They were outstanding against the Bears, and I expect them to be able to deal with the Vikings fairly well. And yeah, as you said, Rodgers did look rusty, but he's Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't stay down for long, does he?
Nope, he does not.
Unless he breaks his collarbone.
Well,
don't say that. I'm a big fan of Aaron Rodgers' moustache just now as well. It's great.
Oh, he actually wears the whole lumberjack type get up as well.
Nails
Cowboy,
it.
It's got like denim shirts and everything. He's just loving it.
Big fan of it. Okay, so let's finish up with Saints at Rams. This is a spicy one.
It's the game of the week, isn't it? So it's the replay of the NFC Championship game.
And it's not in St. Louis.
The infamous no call.
Did you say St. Louis Rams?
No, I nearly said
St.
Louis.
Oh, did you really say? Yeah. God, that was like the sort of thing I'd do. Stupid old Steve here talking about San Diego Chargers.
Okay, Steve. So sticking with the rotation, Steve, where are you going?
I think the Saints are going to go into LA and pick up a win.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
So it's not so much on. I think so. Saints are. They showed very much in week 1. They're pretty much a complete team, and that carries on from last year. They're going to have a lot of hunger following what happened, and I think they're out to prove a point. But it's a little bit more on the Rams side. Again, it could only be week 1. Aaron Donald didn't have his usual disruptive type game. Jared Goff struggled to throw deep balls, so there maybe is a problem there. And they've got the whole what they're doing with Gurley and Brown in the backfield issue that.
Is it an issue?
I don't know. I suppose about a 50-50 split in carries. Gurley, I suppose, still got about 90 odd yards in the 14 touches he had, which was pretty good. But he's not going to get you, potentially isn't going to get you that 60-70 yard run that he seemed to be doing week in, week out last season before his knee really kind of curled up and died a horrible death. So that's pretty much it. I just think that's I think Saints just got a little bit more than their Rams, but I mean, it's tall has to go into LA and win.
Yep, it's going to be a great game regardless. So I'm going to say the Rams do it because I think the Saints are going to be too heated going into this game, and I think they might lose a little bit of discipline in this.
Greg Williams is he at the Jets?
He's at the Jets.
Oh, so you can't even bring him in for a special coordinator for a week or something, eh? Just getting right fired up.
But I think in that sort of game, I think the officials will be watching for that sort of thing because of what happened, and there might be some overreactions. I actually viewed the Todd Gurley thing as a positive from the Rams. It's maybe not positive for anyone that has him in fantasy, but they gave it to him in situations where he could run into space rather than making him the goal line back. So it tended to be Brown that dealt with the short yardage situations, which for me actually
I'm going to use him as a hammer.
That
and then give Gurley
keeps Gurley fresh. So to me that's a positive. Goff did look a little bit shaky, but the Rams played pretty much next to no starters in pre-season.
Right enough, so they did.
So
not even game 3, which is a traditional one. So that was when they flew to Hawaii, was it?
Yep.
Goff didn't even take about 20 of the team with him. McVay.
Yeah, so
didn't take 20 of the team with him. So it's just he hates pre-season. Clearly, just does not give two hoots about it.
So I think that you'll see Donald step up, Goff step up, and with the mindset of the same.
Fowler did get 2 sacks in week 1.
Fowler looks like a good pickup actually. I think the rust will start to come off the Rams, and the mentality on the Saints will cause them issues.
I disagree, and I'm going with the Saints. That's enough. Kamara, Thomas,
Well, the good news is that other than the first game we've kind of gone unanimous, but there's been a split in the other 2. So by the end of it'll be interesting to see.
There'll be a winner at week 1.
I think, well, could be 2s and 2s.
Or week 2, I suppose,
But you know what I mean, But it bodes well. So we'll keep this running week on week, and then by the end of the season, we'll be like, at the end of week 17, we'll be like, right, whoever's won has won.
Indeed.
So that has been it for the latest edition of the American Fitbaw Cast. You can find us on iTunes and all that other good podcasting platforms. If you don't subscribe to us, then you wouldn't have heard this, so you're a dick. Just kidding.
Don't call the listeners that.
Just kidding. We do have some news that we'll be sharing with you in the coming weeks that is quite exciting. So stick with us to find out what that is. And if that's not enough of a teaser as, then I don't have anything else for you. So thank you for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to another great podcast from the Fair City Podcast Network, a group dedicated to connecting and developing podcasts. Check out fcpod.net for more great podcasts and content.